Hey everybody, what's up? I wanted to do a quick video on um, what I'm doing with a new e-commerce product. I'm launching a new e-commerce product in the next week or so, and I wanted to take some time to talk about why I'm not launching it on Amazon. And I'm not sure I'll get on Amazon even as the second or third platform. In the past, I would have chosen Amazon first, but I think that with the reasons I'll list here in a second, it's become not as good for testing a new product or launching a new product. Um, so yeah, let me jump in. I think the first problem I have with Amazon is it's expensive and the fees are pretty high, and the shipping costs are still pretty high. So it kind of eats away at your product margins. um, this is not uncommon with most third-party e-commerce platforms, though, and Amazon's, Amazon's just got a big reach, but the costs are still pretty high. The second point I would say is that essentially Amazon requires you to use FBA or some type of vendor arrangement if you want to get any visibility of your product at all. And there's, of course, hassles with sending products to Amazon using FBA, more costs involved, of course. And I think that it's just a slower ramp up time. When I'm launching a new product, I like to use seller fulfilled. I like to be more involved in the operations side. I can understand a little bit more of what things weigh, how much it will cost through USPS or UPS or some other third party shipper, and I can get a sense of returns easier. I mean, they're coming right back to me, so I can start calculating that data much easier. It's not difficult in FBA, of course. You can have that dashboard, but it's not as easy as just counting it on the return side. Yeah, so I think that kind of ties in also with those fees. So FBA and fees, the price starts getting out of control and your margins are getting squeezed more and more. So also the gating issues, getting things ungated. This would be my third point. Getting things ungated, the hassles for verifying your product or your company. You may have to send something like verification from your manufacturer. Those are all really annoying steps to take that could slow down the time to your first sale on the platform. And Amazon's customer service, which would be probably my fourth point here, their seller customer service, their seller central help is really terrible. And it's always been terrible. It just hasn't gotten any better. I'm not sure if you might think that it's by design for Amazon in some ways, right? To have bad seller support. And I kind of think it's just not a priority. I don't know if they necessarily design it to be bad, but it's just not a high priority for them. So I would say, yeah, getting things ungated and having to manage my account through seller support without a vendor account manager, then it's much more difficult. And again, this is launching a first product with this company. So yeah, something else that deters me from Amazon is sort of these negative SEO practices that we see. It's usually for a more established product. Once you get ranking, especially in more competitive niches, you start seeing more, whether it's bad reviews or being flagged as counterfeit, or a third-party person jumping on your product and selling it and saying, listing it for cheaper and selling a counterfeit version. All of those are huge hassles that you don't really have to deal with on other sites. So yeah, those are Those are probably the 4 or 5 main points that I think it's kind of pushed me into the camp of if I'm launching a new product, I'm not putting it on Amazon first. Um, so I know it's sort of raises the question of where would you list it first? And in my next video, I plan to discuss a little bit more of what platform I'm using and why. So yeah, stay around for the next one. All right, thanks everybody.